Welcome back to Wargaming World, to France 1940, and to the final chain of command scenario in the campaign capturing Caesar's camp. Right, so for everybody who's followed the whole campaign, this is the final objective. We've got the table here with the British attacking from this end, and the objective is to do one of two things: either to take the Chateau or to reduce the German morale down to 0. Now we've had 6 games so far. We've played 5 of the 6 scenarios, including the German counterattack, and this is the final game. Now we're actually at turn 6. There is 7 in total, so I'll probably just play one game of this, unless it looks like the game is going to close really early on, and I'll do a second video, but I'm assuming just to play one, and then you'll be able to have a look at all the scenarios of the campaign, and then you'll be able to play this and replicate it yourself. What you'll be able to see on the screen at the moment is the scenario map. Now, a couple of things. The table I have, as I've mentioned on previous videos, is 8 by 3, so that's the reason why you've got sort of like the central part of this. And then in terms of the actual table itself, it's got to be a chateau is the building in the end, so we need a big building. But on the table, if you have it full, it might well be a very large one that you need to do to have all the different sizes and scales appropriately. So I think it's going to be okay for this game, but I think naturally it's going to be quite a challenge for the attacking force. But that said, they've got lots of support, 18 points in total, so let's have a look at the forces. Now, just to mention, as we look at the forces here, in terms of morale, extra support, etc., there's no additions. We've had quite a balance really in terms of victories, both for the Germans and for the British. So we have, in terms of the commander's opinion, it's no difference, there's no impacts, pluses or minuses, the same for the British and German, and the same for the men's opinion following previous games. So we can go straight from the scenario in terms of the detail, and I say 18 points for the British and 12 for the Germans. Just looking at the British, it's a standard platoon, so both the German and British are new, so it's going to be 3 sections of standard. It's led by a senior leader, and then we've got a sergeant, so 2 senior leaders in total, and we've got a 2-inch mortar and an anti-tank boys team. The 2 men from that come from the original sections, so that's how we make that up. That's that composition. In terms of the 18 points, I'm going to have 5 for an off-board battery. I'm going to have another section, so that's 4 points, so that is 9 in total. I'm going to have an adjutant, which makes it to 10, and then with the remaining 8 points, I'm going to have 2 Bren carriers and a dingo, so that's 8 in total. I'm going to say that the 2 Bren carriers have the Bren machine gun. I'm going to say the dingo is unarmed, I should say. You'll remember in a previous video I had the similar setup. I don't have a dingo, and I don't have a 3rd Bren carrier, but I'm going to say that's the command. And in terms of a platoon operating the same, you can find those details in the 1940 Blitzkrieg handbook. So, okay, that's the 18 points and the British forces. German forces, and we've got 12 support, so it's a standard platoon, so we've got 3 squads, and it's led by 2 senior leaders, and the actual squads themselves, standard stuff, is an MG34 with 3 crew, 6 rifles and a junior leader with a submachine gun. It's only one of those 3 squads has an inferior machine gun. I think it's an MG08, so it's 6 dice rather than 8. So 12 points. We're going to spend 4 on a pack gun. I haven't used that in the game so far, so I'll deploy that. That's 4, and I'll get an entrenchment for it, which makes it 5. I'll add an additional squad, so that's another 4 points, so that's 9. And then I'll also use a tripod machine gun. So let's roll for morale. Green is the British. Oh, right, okay, both of them really up for the fight, so 11 each. Okay, I've completed the patrol phase, and you'll see these 3 green dice as a marker, and on the way back there are 3 jump-off points all along the road there. So that's the British line. In terms of the Germans, you'll see some German markers, but the actual jump-off points themselves further back. So you can see 2. We've got one with that cover at the front there with those trees, and another one at the back towards the chateau. There is a third, which is here by these trees, and the fourth is in the chateau itself. So it's actually in the higher window underneath the marker of Hotel Napoleon there. So I'll take the top off this in a moment, but that's where the jump off points are. Right, so we've done morale, so 11 for each. We've got the jump off points, we know the forces, so now to the final game, final action to take the chateau. So turn 1, phase 1, and the British to go first. And so 1 for the chain of command dice, 2 3s and a 4. Okay, with the 2 3s I brought on 2 of the 3 vehicles. First German phase, 3 4s and a 2. Pass on that German phase, not really any good. So 2 more points to the chain of command dice. British goes to 3. We've got a 1 and a 3. So I'll bring on the command vehicle, and I'll order those 2 Bren carriers to move. I can order both of those 2 forward, so you get 3d6. They go at at the double, as it were. So 3d6 plus 2 inches per dice, so it's plus 6 first. So plus 6 to this. Oh, not very much. 10 inches. So we've got 10 for one, and then we've got 18 for the other. And so this is where they've got to bring on a mortar team for the British, but I'm not, so I'll go over to Germans, and 1 for the chain of command dice. Okay, no need to deploy. I'm going to wait and see where the British are before I deploy for the Germans. 3, 4 and 2 2s. 3, the scout orders the Bren teams up, so the first one. So remember, we're adding 6 to this, so we've got what? 13, 19 inches. 19, got 9 to 15. Scout car, it's a wheeled vehicle. So we've got there 9. I'll just check whether it's fast or not. That's where they've got up to this hedge. I'll need to do some tests to get over. Okay, with the 2 2s I have deployed a unit here and 1 right at the other side, and then we've got a senior leader who's deployed and put both teams here on Overwatch. So with some targets, does this mean we'll see the Germans appear? Well, they've got lots of options if they do. So with a 5 it takes the chain of command dice up to 2. And I've got 2 3s, a 4 and a 2. Right, there's a significant opportunity for the Germans to fire. So with a 2 I've deployed this unit. I've added the senior leader. So we've got essentially this is going to be the support unit. So we've got 8 dice with a machine gun, we've got 6 rifles, is 14, and we're adding another 3 with the senior leader, so it's going to be 17 dice. I will deploy, but the units are in this building, so you just need to have a look at it's the top 2 lines. The 2 machine guns are either side, the top left and top right, and they're the MG 34s, so 8 dice each. Below it we've got 2 rifles in each of the windows, 2 of which will be from one of the particular squads, and both have a junior leader, so we're adding 2 to that one. So I'll do all the dice rolls, and the target for all of them is this unit, who are moving tactically. So it's going to be as if in soft cover. First of all, 17 dice. They're needing 5s. 5 hits. Now, although they are moving tactically, they are in the open, so I'm going to have 3 of the 5 against the Bren team, which is the green dice. So we've got a man killed in the rifles and in the Bren, and then 2 shock on the Bren. See if it was a leader. Yes, it was. He's knocked unconscious. Immediate bad thing. 1 will be a -1. British down to 10. It was the Bren or the rifles. 1, 2, 3, the Bren. That's the rifles, so the Bren loses a man also. 5 from the left hand side, so we've got 8 for the machine gun. I've got 2 rifles plus 2, so 12. Needing 5s. This time it's 6 hits. And soft cover, so this time it's point of shock on each team. On this one, because I've got 2 windows, we've got 8 for the machine gun plus 4. Taking us to 12 plus 2 for the junior leader for the machine gewehr, so we've got 14 dice. 5s. 5 hits, so I'll elect 3 on the Bren team. Soft cover, so we've got 2 more points of shock on the Bren team, 1 on the rifles. So it's in total from that firing, so 7 points of shock across the section, and we've got we lost 1 man, and obviously the junior leader's also unconscious. We do have Overwatch, so we can have some firing return. First of all, a Bren team needing 5s, and that looks like 2 hits needing 5. So we had 2 hits originally and 3 in total. In soft cover, so I'm picking the rifles. So the green is the machine gun team. 1 kill though. It's the leader. 1, 2, 3 the junior. 4, 5, 6 the senior. Here's the outcome of that. He's knocked unconscious. Right, so very much a mirror image. Bad thing. Well, it is a bad thing. What's the -6 is a -2, so the Germans are down to 9. I'm not completely sure who got the better of that exchange, but yeah. So over to the British phase, and a double phase, and 2 1s. And a 3, so if there's going to be an introduction of the off-board barrage, then now's the time. So let's have a look and see where they go. Okay, with the 2 1s, I've brought in a 2-inch mortar, and also I've brought in the forward observer, and with the 3, the command vehicle is ordering these 2 to fire at this unit on the side, which will be 2 Brens, so therefore it's 12 dice. Let's start with the firing, needing 5s. It's exactly average. So it's going to be 2 on the machine gun, that's going to be the green dice. Soft cover. I've got machine gun, 1 man killed and 2 points of shock on the rifles. Let's test if it's a leader. No, it's not. Firing a mortar round to drop where that sort of grate is down at the bottom there, and that's a hit. And with the smoke rising, it effectively blocks off that right hand side section of windows. Well, the British phase, 1 to the chain of command dash takes it to 4, and then we've got a 1, a 3 and a 4. Alright, with a 4 down here, we're going to get the a mortar to fire another smoke round. We're going to get a ranging shot from the forward observer, and it'll order this unit to fire. Let's start with the smoke round. We got 4, that's a hit. It's in line of sight, so it's a hit. This time it's the left hand side. All of those windows fired, so obviously it's a known target. So yeah, that's a hit on the left hand side, and a ranging shot is going to go right in the centre here, so not right at the front, it's sort of on the roof as it were in terms of a barrage. So let's see how accurate that is. Okay, the ranging shot, so that's a 7. It's a miss. It's 1d6 of a miss, so we'll see in which direction. So, what have we got here? 1, so it's long. It's 1d6 long, 3 inches. So it's 3 inches long, which means it sort of lands, or its centre is in line with the back of the roof. However, it's 12 inches square. So as a consequence of that, the measurement, if I measure back there, so 6 inches will still be covering this part of the building, and indeed if we measure the 12 inches the same way, sorry, it's a bit hard just to be doing this whole thing, but if we're landing there, the back, and the 6 inches there, it's certainly affecting enough of the roof of this building to have affected the figures themselves. So we need to have a look at the immediate impact of that ranging shot, and then subsequent shots at that level will be fine to follow. So the ranging shot hits the roof, and it's 2 hits. We've got 2 teams up right at the top there, both of our machine gun teams, so it's as if it's been hit in soft covers because we go down by 1. So of the machine gun teams, 1 is killed. So I need to roll whether the junior leader was affected. No, he wasn't. Whether firing, the Bren team needs 5s to start off with, so that's 1 hit, and 8 rifles. Again, needing 5s, we've got 3, so that's 4 in total. Soft cover, green dice is the machine gun team. 1 kill, so it's a kill on the rifle. Let's test if it's a leader. No, it's not. And up here I'm going to put the 1 and the 3 together and put a second senior leader out. Remember, we've got an adjutant, so therefore that's fine. I'm then going to take off 2 points of shock and get the units to fire. The Bren, first of all, needing 5s. It's 2 hits. Again, need 5, so 3 hits in total, like dice are the rifles. And it looks like just 1 point of shock. So it's the German phase. Okay, so we've got options there. We've got 4 for the for a senior leader, 2 1s, and we've got a 5 for the chain of command dice, which takes it to 3. Okay, I think this game might be won and lost on this left flank here, because we had a 4 and 2 1s. So I've got a senior leader. Going to take off 2 points of shock and get that unit to fire at this one over here, which can't be tactical because it's fired, so it's in the open. I've got a pack gun with the 1, and it's going to fire at the Bren carrier, and then I've also got, it's not a tripod machine gun, which I said at the start of the video, it's just a standard MG34. Again, it's going to be firing at this unit over here, so let's see how we go. Right, I've put my trees back, and we're going to start with the pack gun. The target is the Bren carrier on the left hand side. It is obscured, it's small, etc. So let's just roll a dice and let's see if it can be high. What do we get in there? 4 is definitely a miss. So the support MG34 needing 5s. It looks like that is 3 hits. Target's in the open, so I'm going to pick the Bren team as the target, and that looks like 3 points of shock. And then the standard MG34 team, so it's got 2 hits and 5 rifles. It looks like 3 hits, so 5 in total. Again, targeting the Bren team, and we've got 1 man killed, and then there's another 3 shock there. Just need to test if it's the leader. No, it's not. And with 11 shock, that unit is now pinned. British phase, and 2 points the chain of command dice means it's a full chain of command dice, a 1 and a 3. Right, with a 1, I'm going to call in the battery. That's a 9, that's on target. And as a result, the coverage, the area, really covers the whole of that roof and towards the back of the building there. So I will put a bit of a marker on it, but you get the sense of the fact that the Chateau is now very much under a barrage. And with the 3, I need to bring another unit out here to that jump off point, so we can start taking some of the damage that this unit is also. So I'll put the figures out here and they then will fire. So the men are here. I'm not going to say that because they have to be within 6 inches of the jump off point, which is right on the end. I'm going to say only 9 men can fire, but it's a 3, so I'm going to add 5 rounds rapid, so I've got 11 dice needing 5s. 4 hits. I'm not going to roll 3 because I've got hard cover for the pack gun. The blue is the support machine gun. The green is the machine gun of the standard unit. So we've got a kill with the rifles, hard cover with the pack team, and a kill there too. Is there a leader involved? No, there's not. Okay, so the British battery, we're going to say it's 4 dice of effectiveness for 3-inch mortars. We've got 4 teams of 2 squads, so we're going to look at the left hand side first of all. So it's 4 dice is the effect. It's as if it's in soft rather than hard cover, so let's start with the machine gun team. And the machine gun team take 2 points of shock. Rifles downstairs, they take 2 points of shock. Machine gun team on the right hand side, they take 2 points of shock also. And the rifles below them, they have 1 point of shock but 1 man killed. Need to see if it's a leader. Oh yes, it is the junior leader. And what happens to him? Well, he takes a light wound. That's a bad thing. 3 is going to be a -1, and the Germans will go down to 8. So there's the token markers, and so where the 2 units in there are pretty stuck until the end of that barrage. German phase. We've got 2 3s, a 2 and a 1. Okay, so I put the 1 and the 3 together, so I've got 4 for the senior leader, and take a point of shock off, order the machine gun to fire and the pack gun to fire. With the 2, I'm going to fire the unit here, and with the 3, I'm going to bring on the last of the units here, and with machine gun order that unit again to fire at this one over in who are pinned. I think are under a lot of pressure. Let's start with the pack gun. 7 I'm pretty sure is going to be a miss. Yep, 7 is a miss. So we'll fire that MG34. 8 dice needing 5s. 2 hits. Green dice is going to be the Bren team. I've got one of the rifles killed. Let's check if it's a leader. No, it isn't. Now the unit firing, which is the 2. Let's start with that machine gun. Again, needing 5s. Looks like it's lots of hits. That's 5 for rifles. That's 2 more hits. That's 7 in total. All right, we've got 7 hits. So I need to, of the unit which has got a lot of shock already, we're going to say 2 of the Bren team, 2 in the rifles. And then of the new unit behind the hedge, again, they're both in soft cover, and so we're going to say blue is the rifle team, red is the Bren team. Right, actually I was going to say 3 points of shock, but it isn't, because they haven't done anything, so therefore would be tactical, and they are also pinned, so they're effectively in hard cover. It is a point of shock on the Bren team, and I think it might take them to 12, so it's going up and up, getting close to ultimately breaking. Right, so that takes them up. It's actually 12 shock. It's 8 men, so they're still going. So this unit down here has an MG08. So I think it's just 6 dice, needing 5s to hit. And that's 2 hits. And 6 rifles, we've already got 2, and that's a further 1. Consequence of that is that we've got one of the Bren team is killed. Check if it's a leader. No, it isn't. Right, they're down to 6 men plus the junior leader, who's unconscious, but we're at 12 for shock. And I actually don't know whether you would rout at that point or not. Alright, so I've gone out to the group and asked about this question, whether it would be 6 men and a junior leader who's unconscious, whether they would break at 12 or 14 in terms of shock, and consensus is 12. So that means they break, and I've got a couple of bad things to roll for. Okay, a couple of bad things there. So I've got, I need to roll for section breaks. 5's a -2. Junior leader routes. 5's also -2. So the British go from 10 to 6. I do know it's the British phase. And we've got 4 and 4 2s. With a 2, this unit will fire. I'm going to add 2 dice in terms of 5 rounds rapid with the senior leader, where I've got 2 2s. And the other command is going to get the 2-inch mortar to fire. With a 2, I've brought out this unit. And over here we had a 4. I've ordered the unit to move forward, so the ones at the men at the back, or 4 men at the back, I've asked them to move. They've moved forward, and only 2 of those will fire, and the remainder will fire. I'll start with a smoke round in front of that machine gun team. It's a miss. Actually, 3 is a hit with a line of sight, so that's where it goes, and blinds that unit. Now these units are firing, but I'm actually going to change the target, and instead I'm going to fire at this unit that is in the open. I'll start at this end. Leading 5s, start with the Bren team, and that is 1 hit. Then 8 rifles, +2 in 5 rounds rapid, so we've got 1 so far, still needing 5s, and then we've got +3, so 4 hits. Green is the machine gun team, and that means we've got 2 points of shock on it. Unit further along, Bren team needing 5s, and that's 4 hits, +8 rifles, so we've got 4, plus an additional 3, that's 7. Pick the green as the machine gun, they're in the open, so in actual fact that's 2 killed in the machine gun team, +2 shock, +1 for the rifles. Up at the top there, it's going to be 6 for the Bren team, and then we've got 8 rifles in total, but I'm going to lose 3, so I'll just say a further 5, so 11 in total. Starts with the Bren needing 5s, that's 3 hits, plus the rifles, so I had 3, then 4, 5 hits. I know we've got a lot of casualties on the machine gun, but it'd be a bit gamey just to switch over, so I'll be consistent. So 3 on the machine gun team, and that is wiped out, and then we've lost a man in the rifles and a point of shock. So we've had 5 killed in total, so I have to roll for a junior leader. Yes, it is. What happens to him? He's knocked unconscious. I need to determine whether it's the machine gun team or the rifle team that's from. So 1, 2, 3, the machine gun team. No, it's the rifles. So I need to roll for 2 things, team lost and junior leader wounded, and I'll end up with the rifles losing, well, down to 5 men with 3 shock. Alright, junior leader wounded. 1. Let's see whether that's anything. That's no effect. Team wiped out. 6 is a -1. That means the German's down to 7. German phase. Lots of options. 1 to the chain of command dice, so I think that takes it all the way up to 4. Then we got 2 2s, a 3 and a 4. I realise that the Germans are in a pretty difficult situation. They're now outgunned by this British line, and although they have a better morale at the moment, it's going to be hard to get these British shifted, so hopefully they need some lucky dice rolls. I can't even really use all of the dice there. I've got 2 junior leaders who have been knocked out. I can obviously use the senior leader. I could bring a second senior leader on, but where exactly? Because if I stick the senior leader out here and then that unit is lost and he goes with them, it's almost a guaranteed defeat. I could stick him over on the other side there, but I'm not altogether too sure it will be of any benefit, so I'm in a bit stuck with the Germans here. I need something to happen, so I'm going to start with a pack gun. Okay, firing at the Bren. Let's see if we can get a hit. An 8. No, an 8 is a miss. We need a 9 to hit the Bren. I'm going to move the machine gun team. I've moved that team. It's going to fire, but it'll fire at half effect. I'm going to fire at this unit. That's 2 hits. Bren is the green. Man killed. Is it a leader? No, it's not. This unit is going to fire at the same target. Machine gun needing 5s. And that's 2 hits and 4 rifles. Oh, that's 2 in total. And there's a point of shock on the rifles. Right, and then with the 2-2s, I'm going to have to bring in the final senior leader. I'll take off 2 points of shock and get this unit to fire. I don't really want to do this, but I can't really think of what options to do. And I think that the Germans are really stuck in this this situation. So yeah, let's see how they go on. 5 rifles firing at the targets of that I've moved to. 2 hits. And just another point of shock to the rifles. Turns to a British phase. 1 to the chain of command dice as the second dice, and then we've got a 1, 2, 3. Senior leader will take a point of shock off the rifle team, order this unit to fire, and also this unit, and then we've got a 2 at the end, so all 3 of these units will all fire. Starting down here with the Bren team, this being the target, 5s to hit, and we've got 1, 2, 3 hits, 8 rifles, so we had 3 hits, we've now got 5 in total. Rifles are still in the open because they fired, and as a consequence of that they got 3 points of shock and a kill. Is it the leader? No, it's not. Next unit further along fires again, needing 5s, 2 hits. With rifles we had 2 originally, and that takes it to 4. Still in the open, 4 men, and we get 2 points of shock. 6 points of shock, and well, 5 men. Working on the same principle I did with the Highlanders, it means that unit is now pinned. Third and final unit firing at them, still needing 5s, is 3 hits. And the rifles, so we had 3 hits, just 4 hits in total. Missed one was actually 5, so remembering now they're in soft cover, it means that there are 3 points of shock and 1 man killed. Is the person hit a leader? No, it's not. So with that, it's 9 shock, it's 4 men, it will break, and it'll mean the senior leader and the junior leader break as well as the section break, so it's 3 things to roll for. So senior leader routes with a unit 6, that's at least a -2. Actually that's a -3, so that would take the Germans down to 4. A junior leader routes, that's a 3, and that's a -2 down to 2. And finally section breaks, 1, I think might just be a -1. Right, at this point I'm going to stop the game. It is a British victory, holding this road and firing onto the German units there. They've dropped in terms of their morale, but in reality it's their capability to fire back. When I started this particular game, my thought was, in terms of the British advancing here on the right hand side, the natural fact that if I could draw out enough fire that by knocking out a British section it would essentially bring the British down to nothing. However, in terms of the rolling, I managed to get fire onto this building. I put 2 units in it, and then straight away the barrage really just had them stuck in the building. And although I brought out units on the left hand side, actually it's the reality is that it's just been well, overpowered really. The fire from the British has been more effective, and ultimately I did get a pack gun, but the Bren carriers are really difficult to hit, so yeah, I just haven't been able to make any significant headway into it. So that means it's a British victory, and across the whole of the campaign, the Capturing Caesar's Camp campaign, it ends up with a British success. Okay, so let me just finish off by saying thanks very much for everybody who's watched this game and all of the other videos of the campaign itself. I've really enjoyed playing through it. It's been really good. It's been a really good, great pint-sized campaign put together for Chain of Command, and hopefully it's been entertaining as well as you've watched it through. naturally there'll be lots of potentially questions or queries on how I've deployed the game and how you might have played it differently, but that's exactly for you to play, isn't it? So I hope you enjoy it and can have a good campaign, and certainly put videos together or after action reports of how your campaign went in comparison to this one. So it just leaves me to say thanks very much for everybody who watched, thanks very much for everybody who's made comments, and I'll see you next time with a new game of Chain of Command from Wargaming World.